So we're moving on back to the films now, and a film which actually got released today in the UK. I think it's only Emma and myself that have seen this one, given that Andy's screening today got cancelled by Cineworld, which he's probably very grumpy about. Emma, do you want to introduce Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom for us?
Sure. So our hero returns as Black Manta makes another bid to avenge his father's death. But this time he's going for something far more apocalyptic. Here's a clip.
He must be stopped, or a global meltdown is imminent.
I think I know someone who might be able to help us. Ooh, you look rough. Good job, little brother. High five. Do not call me brother.
Okay, Emma, Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom.
Yeah, Aquaman 2, huh?
I mean,
so
it's set in the sea, so that's the same world as the Meg is set in. I mean, you must love it.
Well, I wish the Meg had come along and eaten them all. So, this is the most Marvel DC film I have seen in a long time. Just all the way through, I was basically just reminded of different Marvel films. So Arthur Curry teams up with his brother Orm, and they might as well be Thor and Loki. The amount of scenes that look like the fight in Asgard on the bridge is unbelievable. Then throw in
fact, he's even referenced as Loki at one point, isn't he?
He is.
Oh,
yes.
You're kidding me.
No, yeah, it does get thrown in there, along with a Harry Potter reference, which was just weird.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah, he said something about him going back to Azkaban, and I was like, oh, Jesus.
Warner Brothers.
It's rather frustrating. Yeah, you throw in a bit of Black Panther, and Aquaman pretending he's Iron Man, and you've got a film. So don't bother going to the cinema, just watch all of those, and we're done. I just don't know where to start with it. I could rant about this for longer than the film, which felt incredibly long. But I mean, it's just another Aquaman, isn't it? It's not anything special, this one.
I mean, I have to say, the first Aquaman, I didn't see it at the cinema. I saw it after the event, and I was so utterly bored with it, I didn't even bother to write a review. And I hardly ever do that for a film. I just couldn't be asked to do it. So I went into this with a very negative attitude. I have to say, for the most part, I thought it was terrible. I mean, Amber Heard was in it. I had a feeling, given that she's in the trailer for like 17 nanoseconds, that she might have been written out the whole project, but she actually had quite a large piece in it. And she's okay, right? She's okay. She's fine.
But it does feel like almost like they tagged her in. Like either they got rid of an absolute crap ton of footage of her in it, or they were like, "Oh, we should really put her in it, otherwise we'll be controversial as well if we take her out."
Yeah. I mean, I like Jason Momoa as an actor. I think he's got charisma and character, but a lot of his on-screen banter here just felt cringe-inducingly false, and it didn't barely generated a single laugh in the cinema. And I was actually in a packed screening. I was actually quite surprised how many people were in my lunchtime screening to see this, and there wasn't a titter amongst the audience. There was just one or two lines which made me smile and made a guy next to me laugh once. I mean, the MacGuffin material in this thing is a mineral called Richalcum, which I can only assume that the writers had friends called Rich and Al, and thought it would be funny to stick their names together and put cum at the end of it, because it's just like unobtainium, right?
I was just thinking unobtainium.
yeah, it's basically unobtainium, and this unobtainium it's rapidly causing global warming. So it's got this kind of sickly global warming type of message running through the film. And those were not the only films that got mentioned and ripped off in this. Martin Short is actually the voice behind what is absolute carbon copy of a watery Jabba the Hutt. In a
It took
scene,
me ages to work out that was him.
it's a scene absolutely ripped out of Return of the Jedi, down to the dancers and the alien singers and everything. It's just a criminal rip-off. There's a rip-off of the very final cliffhanger bit of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade towards the end of it. And we even seem to go to Pandora at one point in the plot. Right, we go to a kingdom that looks just like Pandora. Right. One of the fun voices in it, though, was the unmistakable John Rhys Davies as a lobster in it. So I was, and as soon as you hear John Rhys Davies, right, you know, very dangerous. You go first, yes, and which you've had him say to you on the phone, haven't you, Andy?
Yes, I had a conversation. I got to interview him, and he said that to me down the line. That's very dangerous. You go. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up as I was on the phone with him.
You're a lucky man, right?
Yeah.
The only thing which this film had going for it at all for me was the finale fight, which, while it was preposterous, did at least marginally entertain me. Because there's a child at risk in it, and I thought that was kind of at least marginally entertaining, albeit a bit too easy in the end.
One very important piece of information, guys. Is there an end credit sequence?
There is a mid-credit sequence, which is actually quite funny.
But
not
also,
amusing.
It's not worth staying for.
So this is said to be the end of the DC extended universe. Does
Yeah.
it feel like an ending, or does it just feel like
It
a
feels like
mid-tier
it should
entry
be an ending.
Right.
It feels like it should be ending.
It genuinely, like, all the things that happen at the end, you could see it having another film, I think.
Okay.
It doesn't deliberately set it up, but there are those things there that make you think there could be.
Yeah. So I've given this one a 4 out of 10. Emma?
Yeah, I went 4 as well.
Oh, there we go. We agree on a score. So that's 4.
My only redeeming feature of the film is that I think you could make a drinking game out of every time you stop and think about Patrick Wilson's hair, is it CGI or a really bad wig? Take a drink. You'd be hammered within 10 minutes.
Okay. That's one to remember when it comes on DVD or Blu-ray or streaming. Not that we're going to buy this one. Okay, so unfortunately, Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom gets a Flickering Dreams score of 4.0, which makes it a big, soggy miss.